We're live, Krista.
Awesome. Yay. I'm looking forward to this today.
Me too.
Alrighty, so we are live. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing today. First, let's say hey, right? We had a ladies' night last night. I hope you guys got to join in. If not, join us next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. We'll have another ladies' night, and we're going to have Liz Lazarus joining us. We have a little bit of a chat about her book series.
Yep. That's exciting. So my day got off to a wonderful start. So we had to take the puppies and the cat and Trigger to the vet. So at one point, I almost had the entire car. It sounded like a puppy pound. It was so hilarious. And I tried to call Krista to say, listen to my car, because it was crazy. So my day got off to...
Whoa, turn that sound off. So what did you learn today at the vet?
I learned that they were doing pretty good. So
you learned something that's very important.
Yes. Well, we thought we had 3 boys, but we actually have 2 girls and a boy. So whoops. I guess I missed that lesson, but we checked them when they were really little. So we've got a lot of people on now. I think we need to get going to get ready for the show. So today we're going to talk about range safety. I'm going to bring in our guest because we're talking about family day at the range. What better to talk about a family day at the range than a family? And we've got Keith and Tegan Beam on with us, and I'll let Krista introduce them a little bit later, but we're really excited to talk to you guys about family day at the range and how much fun it is to go to the range. And then, of course, for all of our listeners, we've got to make sure the adult is responsible for the safety, but the youth has some responsibility for safety too. And so we'll talk about how we can go to the range, be safe, and have a lot of great fun, and make sure we've got the right equipment and all of those kind of things. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Krista, because I'm sure some of you are wondering who was the big winner from last week or Monday. I'm so lost on days. Like I don't know what day of the week it is, but we did a quarter zip from True Timber, and we threw in a Shoot Like a Girl True Timber hat. So Krista, take it away.
All right. So we have our winner. Her name is, I'm sure I'm not going to get this right, Anna. I got that part. Reinish. So Anna, I'll contact you, and I'll get
congrats, Anna.
Yay for Anna, and I'll get your mailing address, and we'll get that sent out to you. Remember, there's going to be a little bit of a delay. A lot of our partners don't have anybody in their warehouses right now because we're all sheltering in place and following all the rules. As soon as they get back in, they can send that out to you. Today, we want to remind you to comment, like, and share. GSM Outdoors and Walker Hearing are giving away a set of youth hearing protection. And we've got Keith Beam and his daughter Tegan with us. Keith is with GSM Outdoors. We're very happy to have him here. He's a great guy, but got a chance to kind of get to know him a little bit through our conversations prior to our lives. And we're glad you guys are here today. So remember, like, comment, and share. That will help you be eligible to win those youth hearing protection. Excuse me. All right. So today we're talking about family time at the range, right? We've already talked about some firearm safety, Keith, and we've done a really good job about focusing on our safety rules. We want to make sure we do that every time we're talking about firearm safety, whether it's families or not. And today we're going to talk about the differences when you take your family to the range, or how do you bring your family to the point where they want to go to the range with you?
I've got it. That one of the things, and thank you guys for having us on. And first of all, God bless the whole United States. And let's get through this. But no, one of the things that we didn't have, I'm 55 years old, and one of the things that I didn't have when I grew up was hearing protection. So when my father and my brothers took me hunting, you just kind of suffered through it. Well, it's so neat now. If I look back and go full circle, I'm working with walkers. They're part of the GSM Outdoors. And they have hearing protection that not only really keeps your ears safe so that they're really protected, but it has amplification so that when you're wearing earmuffs, you can hear. Now, I'm going to show you something pretty cute. This is fun. And this is how it all started. Turn your head the other way. You put those on if you want. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. The amplification units, that's being able to whisper to one another, talk to one another, give range commands. But if that loud gun goes off, as you saw right there, she's not hearing it. You know, it's suppressed. It's not damaging. We didn't have that when we grew up. So that's one of the neat things about the Walker's line, and getting kids really enjoying shooting is not where that scares them, where it doesn't make them flinch, where it doesn't damage their hearing, but where they enjoy it, where every time they squeeze that trigger, nothing's scaring them, you know, and that's what we didn't have, you know, back in caveman days.
Right.
Right.
What I love about that, Keith, right now is when I go to the range and I have that active listening on, I can hear what's going on to the bay to my left and my right, which is sometimes I'm as concerned about that. And then when you have a student with you or a child, or someday I'll bring my grandson with me, I can know what they're saying, what they're doing at all times. So it's just really great to have that added hearing. So Tegan, are they comfortable? What do you think?
They're very comfortable.
She liked it so much. Her brother, he wasn't here. He's schooling home right now. But she got a 2-year older brother. He's 14, and he loves shooting. She loves shooting, and they're pretty competitive with one another here. So it was pretty funny when she got stuck to be able to do this. You know, it was one of those things. It was almost as competitive as when they're on the range.
Oh, I
Let's
bet.
shoot like a girl. Come on.
That's why she's here. Yes, indeed.
So Keith, you've been involved in the outdoors. I mean, we've learned a little bit about you hunting and growing up. How did you get your children involved, and how did you help them with that next step and get them prepared?
Well, one of the things that got me into the industry was myself and Brooks Johnson. We both were working at W.W. Grange, a big industrial wholesaler. And we came up with a concept, and we saw an idea that we bought the patent rights off of, because we needed that part to create double bolt archery, which was the first ever 5-hub hunting blind. And that was back in 1994. And we started that then, which took off. Of course, everybody's got a 5-hub blind now, pop-up blind. But we were the originators of that. Well, about midstream through it, you know, I have 2 children, and I've got my little boy and I got a little girl. And it was such a blessing to be able to take them out in something that would keep them out of this kind of weather like I'm facing right now, you know, 43 degrees and rain. I could feel her shaking sitting here right here. But it was one of those, you could keep them warm. They could screw around in the bottom. They could play with their cars. They could play with the phone. They could do whatever. But then when that time came, when something had some action, they could rise up and see it, and you could mentor them that way. That was one of the things that we didn't have. You know, you had to learn to be patient. Just sit still. Just sit still. Well, now it's very entertaining, and one of the greatest things of owning Double Bull was that ability to hear people's stories, or not the ability, but to hear people's stories on their ability to take their kids, or maybe a newcomer, maybe a neighbor that's never gone hunting. Maybe it's our wife or whatever, or your wife is going to take off her best friends and they're going to go out and they're going to go turkey hunting. So
Right.
The blind worked perfectly for that. So since 1994, I have been full-time into this industry, and it's just a neat way of being able to share things.
So when you started them, they came to the blind with you, right? So they were comfortable. But when it was time to put a firearm in their hand, what did you do? Did you give them a lesson? Did they take a lesson somewhere else? Was there a way that you started that kind of ramped them up to a point where they were ready for something bigger and better?
Both of them, especially my son, had got to go on some very successful hunts. And I'm a bow hunter. That's what I do. Everything I do is bow hunting. And I got him so excited about it when I threw a Daisy Red Ryder in her hands and his hands out at the farm, put a pair of safety glasses on him, and let him start flinking cans and shoot little rubber army men, little plastic army men. That's where that competition started going. And it was one of those things that just moved on. And next thing you know, we were shooting 22s. And then we moved up to the 243. And we just bought a long-range rifle just to air things out. We got a 6.5 Creedmoor that to shoot. So, I mean, it's one of those things that it was that progression. It was the same progression that I had. Believe it or not, 40 years or 50 years ago, that's how I learned. I took a BB gun and went for a walk down the tracks. And that's being able to take them out, for them to see animals up close and personal and get that fire, then to get them just started, plinking with the BB gun. Shoot a can, listen to that ping, shoot your little plastic army men, shoot little dinosaurs, shoot Hot Wheels, anything. Just get out and have some fun with it. And especially as a parent and as a family, it's fun to cock a BB gun and shoot a BB gun still to this day. So,
Right.
yeah, that's
So Tegan, tell us, how does it make you feel when you actually hit your target? So when you hit that can, what's that sensation like for you?
When I hit the can, I get really excited.
And you feel good about yourself, right?
I feel really good about myself.
Does that confidence carry over into other things and activities that you do?
It makes me feel a lot more confident in other things that I like to do.
Very good. Very good. Well, I think it's important that I like the way you talk about the progression, and it's really important that you don't start them out with a 6.5 Creedmoor, but start them out with a BB gun and a 22. And we've got some viewers right now that their children shoot 22s, and so we really we think that's a great way. The hearing protection that Walkers does is awesome because it will help protect your ears and keep you guys straight. It's important, and we have someone coming on talking about respecting the firearm, and that's really important. So I know, Tegan, I won't put you on the spot, but I'm sure you know those 4 safety rules of always keep your finger off the trigger, right? And always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Always know your target and what's beyond, and always, this is my favorite one because it prevents all malfunctions or
negligent discharges.
Yeah. Thank you. Negligent discharges is always treat a firearm like it's loaded, even when you know it's not and you're sure it's not. So those firearm rules really keep us safe, and we always try to stress those each time. So I understand you're kind of competitive with your brother.
Yes.
And now he's your older brother?
Yes.
So who's are you keeping score? Who's winning?
We don't usually keep score, but when we're shooting together, we keep score most of the time.
You just like to go have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. You know, one of the neatest things I think that I could share with you guys wanting to do, you guys are doing a fantastic job of introducing so many people to it, is that hearing protection, not from so much a damage, but so that it doesn't scare anybody. You know, that first time we've all seen it, you know, they set somebody down with a turkey gun or whatever, and, you know, somebody the very first time they ever squeeze a trigger is a 3.5 inch 12 gauge, you know, and they're scared and they flinch. And from that point forward, you can't erase that memory. You know, that's one of those things that's set. So if that noise doesn't really scare you, it becomes more and more entertaining, and people become more proficient at it, and a lot more respect and a lot more enjoyment in the shooting sports.
Well, and I think I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. That made me think of something. Some of the ladies that we've seen earlier this year before we kind of had to hunker down and keep the trailer at home reminds me of a conversation we had with this particular woman in Las Vegas. And she loved shooting, absolutely loved it, had been pregnant, had a baby. Her baby was, I can't remember, maybe we're going to say 18 months, somewhere between a year and 2 years. And she came into the trailer and kind of refreshed herself and enjoyed the experience of going through our process. And her husband and the baby stayed outside. And we were standing outside. I would love to take my family shooting. She goes, but I don't know what to do about my baby because I don't want to harm them. And I said, let's have a little bit of a conversation, because that's something else. Walkers has infant wear as well. They have youth and infant wear, right? So obviously the safety part about taking a young child to the range would be to make sure they cannot pass up to the firing line. They'd have to be secured and kept behind the firing line, but their hearing can be protected. Walkers has thought about that part, right? And they're not oversized. They're perfectly sized for their heads. And she was ecstatic to find out this was something she did not have to wait until her child was older for herself.
Right. And that youth hearing protection, that's not only good for shooting, but it's good for sporting events, for concerts, for the NASCAR, when we go NASCAR, you know, like.
Yeah.
So I used it for my grandsons with the fireworks. That was the only way we got them to go see fireworks, right?
Yeah. That's the whole thing. You if it doesn't make you flinch, it's not really scaring you, and then you're going to be able to accept it. You know, hearing protection is important when we shoot a gun. You know, I took these guys to some indoor tractor pulls, and in an arena we have these plus the phone on, and it is so loud, it's frightening. You know, if you weren't wearing anything, you wouldn't have your hearing at all. You'd come out of there down.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Huh? So
Well,
I have to ask Tegan first. Tegan, what is your favorite range memory? Do you have one with your dad?
I don't think I have one.
Yeah, that's okay.
are they all good?
Maybe she asked if she have any good memories of the rain.
Really? Okay, no.
How about with your mom? You know.
So Keith, what about you? Do you have any favorite range memories with your family?
Well, yeah, I really started shooting a rifle with these kids. Like I said, I've been in bow hunting. You know, this is my whole career. It's been bow hunting. So I've killed 1 or 2 animals since 1993 with a gun. You know, everything's been bow hunting. So now that the kids really enjoy it, it's not just one memory. It's all the memories. It's Blake and I and Tegan spending time, whether we're shooting a 22, a BB gun, and we challenge each other with BB guns, or shooting some of the bigger high powers. It's getting them together and getting them out there. It's one of the things that I talked to her about. You know, was, are you going to shoot a turkey, you know, this year with a crossbow? You know, keep it in the bow world. Are you going to shoot with a shotgun? She's like, I'm shooting with a shotgun. I'm like, rock on, let's do this. You know. And it is. It's exciting for me, you know. So this whole bit with firepower and gunpowder, it's new to me again. So it's very exciting.
That is exciting
Very
that you're, as a family, you've come together and started down that journey kind of as equals, sort of, you know, even though you have different experiences you're coming from.
Yep.
Oh, Peggy, that's awesome. So we just got another. So I'm trying to answer back these comments is coming in, but we just got Peggy, who she started her boys off at 4 and 5. And then they got their hunter safety at 8 and 10, and now they're 29 and 31. So, you know, when I got my hunter safety, I was an adult, so I didn't start shooting until an adult. That's a long story, but I took my son with me. My youngest son went with me and got hunter safety card at the same time I did, and we went through that class together, and it was a lot of fun. And so if any of you ladies are thinking about hunting, you want to do hunter safety when they get back to we're not restricted. Otherwise, go online, because the online training is incredible. I retook it because I wanted to see what it was like, and it's pretty cool. But anyway, that just brought back a great memory of my son, because he got 100 and I got a 99, and I still hear about it.
Yep.
Well, you know, we've seen so many situations where we have ladies come to the trailer because their children are shooting already, whether they're through scouts or through a program, or even with their father, and the mother wants to get involved, or they realize that this is a step they now need to take. That's kind of been a gap in this past few years, 10, 20 years, where a lot of families aren't getting out in the outdoors anymore, and they're finding other activities, and they're seeing a reason or a need or a desire just to get outside. And here's an activity they can do together. And having the youth involved is the only way we're going to keep this going. I mean,
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually did an electronic interactive soundbook series called Drake's Adventures. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it's out there, and that's what it was. It's to immerse our kids from 0 to 6 in what we love doing, so that they do it. Otherwise, if we just go, hey, they're 7 years old, now they can participate, they're done. You know that too, Karen. It's 4. It's whatever. My dad, I probably was out there 5 or 6 duck hunter and pheasant hunting with my dad and my brothers. We have to be immersed in it, and it's one of those things. The neat thing is you do have headgear that is cute, and it is fun, and it's okay to wear. It's not all camo. You got pistols that fit a woman's hand or a smaller hand. You got guns that kids can shoot. You know, it's not all this one big size anymore, and it's one of those things that the manufacturers are truly adapting to us. It's our job as parents to get the kids out there now to match what they're adapting to.
That's a great point, and a great way. So we're almost at 20 minutes.
Yes.
And so we try to keep these a little bit short, which we could probably talk to you guys all day. We really love to visit with you all. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Tegan, I will get something in the mail for you for being on board. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your probably homeschooling to come. You can do this as a technical credit, I'm sure. But we really we appreciate you all. We appreciate the partnership that we have with Walkers. We never charge women to go to our live training, to go through the trailer, to participate in any activities that Shoot Like a Girl does. And we only can do that through the generous partnerships that we get from companies like GSM Outdoors and Walkers. And so thank you all very much for that support, because we love introducing more women to shooting and talking about shooting sports and the great benefits to families. Families, when you're out there and you're concentrating on shooting, you aren't thinking about the troubles of the day. You're not thinking about COVID-19. You are thinking about your breath control, your trigger press, your follow through of your shot, and then the excitement and exhilaration when you hit that target. And I don't know of anything else you can really get that through other than shooting sports, archery, firearms, crossbow, whatever. It just gives you that kind of feeling. So thank you very much for what you do. I'll turn it over to Krista to kind of wrap up the show.
So Tegan, if you get a turkey this year, we would like to see pictures of that, okay?
Okay.
I promise.
So Keith, thank you again for joining us.
Very, very much.
You are welcome. Bye. We really appreciate it. So remember, everyone watching, make sure you comment, like, and share to be entered to be eligible to win the youth hearing protection. Our next live is this Friday at 9 a.m. Central. It'll be a little bit of a comedy session. Karen is going to graciously teach me how to use a turkey call via the internet, social distancing.
Yeah.
All right.
Not ever done it before. So be ready to laugh. I feel confident it'll be very funny. When we get to Monday, we're going to talk a little bit about shotguns. We've got shotgun fun on next Tuesday. We have our ladies' night in at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's Liz Lazarus. Wednesday, we have finding the right fit of a firearm. So that's a big subject for Shoot Like a Girl. It's one of our things that we do on the road and that we really, really like to have some time on. Friday, we'll have a gun cleaning 101. So we have a busy, fun, very informative week next week, starting with this Friday. Thanks again, Keith and Tegan. Karen, I'll turn it back to you.
All right,
One last thing. So we are going to, I'll let you say a final word, Keith, here in a second. One last thing, y'all, we will send out a survey to you on Messenger. Please fill it out. And you only need to fill it out once, but we are trying very hard to measure whether you're finding these valuable, whether we need to change if what we're doing right, what we need to do better, so that we're delivering a service to you that is beneficial and a good use of your time and our time, because we truly, truly, truly want to make the most of these events. So please fill out that survey. It'll give us an idea of what to do. And then we also send that data to our partners who support us so that we can do everything we do. So thank you all very much. Keith, do you want to say one more thing?
I do. I want to say to all the medical people out there and the first responders, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I mean, you guys are the ones on the battlefield, and we can't thank you enough. So that's all I got right there. God bless.
God bless.
Ditto there.
Alrighty.
Y'all have a great day. See you Friday.
All right. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, bye.
Bye.